Hello and welcome to the next installment of my overview series. In this installment I'll be taking a look at the free-to-play game Age of Empires Online. To clear up right off the bat, this isn't as free-to-play as you may assume from other games. You're given most of the playable civilizations to freely play, but it locks off use of certain items, the PvP and skirmish mode, as well as certain persistent city buildings. So let's go over what the game does give you as a player not purchasing anything. You're given a small landmass for a persistent element of the game. This persistent side of the game gives the feeling of most browser-based RTS games, with resource farms and crafting centers later on. Within the persistent landmasses that you build and manage, and in the villages and cities you can visit, including your friends' cities, there are quests. Quests help you progress your city as well as your army. Before you shrug it off as another one of the RTS so popular in browsers though, there's an entire different side of the game that is majorly a traditional RTS and true to the Age of Empire games before it. Like the campaign in games like Warcraft 3, quests throw you in a map with an objective, and usually starting slow by gathering the same old resources like stone, gold, and wood. What makes this interesting is most of the quests in Age of Empires Online are cooperative enabled. The problem alongside this is the quests that you start don't complete for your partner in most cases, creating this frustrating repeat feeling every mission if you plan to do each other's quests back to back, which I wouldn't suggest. However, what can make or break your opinion on the game is the progression. You start at level 1 with all free civilizations, and only the first tier of available buildings and units and quests. You also have a talent tree-like technology system for upgrading your army and getting available in-game upgrades like damage and armor boosts for certain troops. This feels very unique and gives some depth to the persistency, with the ability to specialize in a certain type of unit like spearmen or siege weaponry. The downside is you probably will never get all the things you want for your faction unless you're really dedicated. There are a few extra things for free players as well, but most of it is locked off unless you're willing to pay a few bucks. For those of you willing to spend some money on a game, you're in luck. Age of Empires Online is a very simple cash shop. You buy the civilization you want, and you get to use the rare equipment you acquire, access to advisors which boost your army in-game at each tier respectively, and access to ranked PvP, all for around 10 bucks. Additionally, you can buy access to the skirmish mode for co-op versus AI setups at about 6 bucks, which you don't need premium civilizations to use. And finally, you can grab the Defensive Crete, a co-op survival mode, for the same price as the skirmish mode. I can't say much for the competitive scene of Age of Empires Online, but in PvP and skirmishes you are given all your tiers for the civilization and don't require any certain persistent level to access them. Last on the list is the rest of the cash shop. This includes PvE action items like unit call-ins, vanity equipment, and city props. For literal pennies, you can trick out your persistent city with cosmetic additions like gardens, statues, and houses. Visual customization for your army never seems to go above 2 bucks as well. So with that said, what else is there? Every city has a major city and a region containing quests and city-based currency, like Sparta and Crete points. These points are acquired from daily quests in most areas, and are used for upgrading your troops as well as your persistent city. Though the points that you get are so slow to gather, it's part of the game most people won't bother with, but it's there for the dedicated few who want the best of the best. The core gameplay, however, is a common trial of resource gathering and army management, playing very smoothly with a few innovative things worth mentioning, like being able to see where your teammate's camera is to easily see what's going on. For the people who are willing to spend 20 or so bucks, Age of Empires Online has a lot to offer, not really feeling like a free-to-play game at all, and just a game with a lot of DLC and an online portion of the game available to play as a demo. That's it for this overview of Age of Empires Online. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time.